How's it going, fellas, and welcome to the channel where I kick back, relax, and talk NBA 2K23, fellas. And this build is nuts. It really is to be a point guard. This is the build I will be using all year for the MyCareer. Every video that you see that isn't my MyCareer series will be using this build, but I needed to have a few certain things, but I had to give up other things as well, so it was hard for me to find the perfect build. But this is the build I will be using for MyCareer. Everything that you need to know on how to build it and everything in between. So if you like that sort of stuff, don't forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below the build that you'll be using for NBA 2K23. And also ask a question. If you're wondering about the builder, anything that you'd like to know, leave it in the comments below. I'll be happy to help out, guys. But anyway, guys, I've talked and raved long enough. Let's get into it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is what my build needed to have. I love making this build every single year for the MyCareer, fellas. There are a couple of things that you have to have as a point guard, and I'm going to be explaining to you right now. But if you want to make an offensive threat, just an offensive juggernaut, this is the build for you. The first thing I want to talk about is shooting. You can get away with an 83-pointer again this year, but I wanted to shoot a little more consistently this year. I really did it just a little bit better than last year, so I went with an 89 3 ball and a 75 mid-range. This will hopefully make me a little more consistent this year when shooting the rock from the 3-point line, fellas. It really should make me a lot more consistent, which is great because that was the one bad thing about my build last year. Well, there was two bad things, just the consistent shooting. I could shoot, but I want to shoot lights out, and hopefully 89 will be enough because it does give me blinders on gold, which is a tier 3 badge, which is great for me, and limitless range on silver. So hopefully these are enough to keep me shooting consistently all year. So the next thing I want to talk about is passing. The one thing that I ruined last year with my build was the pass accuracy, and I didn't want to do it again. I went with 80 this year, fellas. This should be enough. I've only got like 50 or 60 pass accuracy right now, and I'm passing like a slug. So if you are a point guard, fellas, I really do recommend at least a 70 pass accuracy. Go higher if you can afford it, but if you have a pass accuracy lower than 70 or even 65 as a point guard, you're really gonna struggle, lads. So the next thing I want to talk about is playmaking. I'm not an elite dribbler by any means, fellas, and maybe this will bite me in the ass, but I really do think 89 ball handle is enough for me. Hopefully there isn't a meta dribble move that I need a 92 ball handle to unlock. That would really suck, fellas, and make my build pretty bad online, but for the most part with the MyCareer, I really do think that 89 is enough ball handle to beat those bots consistently. Plus an 89 ball handle does give me enough to get quick first step on Hall of Fame, and that's a must-have badge for any point guard, fellas, trust me. So the next thing I want to talk about is speed with ball. I probably should have went a little higher with this, but I didn't know what to give up, and there was so much I had to give up just to get 1 or 2 speed with ball. I had to give up like 8 driving dunk, a couple of perimeter defense just to get 1 or 2 speed with ball, and I was just giving up too much just to get it to a 90 or a 92. I really was, fellas. Getting speed with ball up is a chore. It really is, fellas. To try and keep everything high and your speed with ball and your vitals as well is a real grind. It really is. It's a real balancing act to get everything right. But like I said, I probably should have went a little higher, but I didn't know what to give up. And I don't think it's gonna cost me too much when it comes to MyCareer, because most fast defenders aren't good defenders. Like Steph Curry and Kyrie, yeah, they're fast and get to the spot quicker, but they can be pushed and bullied out of the way pretty easily. And I do think 89 speed will be enough to get around those good defenders that are slow. So like the Kawhi Leonards and things like that. I hope and pray that my 89 ball speed with a few nifty dribble moves can get me open against lockdown defenders. So the next thing I want to talk about is finishing. If layups are like last year, you're going to have to be able to dunk, because it was impossible trying to get away from those chase down blocks doing a layup. It was pretty much impossible. So you had to have a driving dunk at least 85, and that's what I went with this year, because that gives me tier 3 badges on silver, like slivery finisher. I'm mumbling, I'm ranting, I'm raving. I'm just excited for NBA 2K23 to be back. I'm actually in the honeymoon period. I'm excited and happy to play the game for a change, which is a good thing. But I digress, fellas. But as I said, 85 driving dunk to unlock tier 3 badges like slivery finisher, limitless takeoff, and posterizer. These are must-have badges for any slasher, and having these on silver, being able to shoot as well and play playmake and drive to the basket. It's all you need to finish at the rim in the MyCareer, fellas, are those 3 badges. So the next thing I want to talk about is defense. This was my first fuck up of the builder, fellas. I can't get clamps, not even on bronze. To get clamps, you need 14 badge points in defense just to get clamps on bronze, lads. I had to give up so much just to get it, and I just couldn't. I couldn't afford to give up everything else just to get bronze clamps or silver clamps. It was just too much. So I went with an 86 perimeter defense just to keep me able to play defense against the bots in the MyCareer on the 3-point line. I'm hoping a few of these new defensive badges will bail me out here, but who knows, fellas, how good these other badges were. But I weren't able to get clamps where I wanted it, and that was my first and pretty much only fuck up of this build, in my opinion. So the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to what I needed on this build was vitals. I hope the community was right, fellas, with strength. I really do, because I've put so much into vitals. Now that I have to put stuff into strength as well, I've committed so much to speed, acceleration, stamina, strength, and vertical. I need an 80 vertical to get my dunks. I need my speed and acceleration to get around players at ease, or not get around players, but be able to stop players on defense with ease and be able to get to the spot fast enough. And I needed max stamina, because who knows how bad and how much this stamina system is going to affect the players online and in MyCareer. So I just went with max stamina just to be safe. And like I said, fellas, I really do hope that strength doesn't play too much of a part, because I do think that speed and acceleration will be the better choice in the long run, and you should be beating bots easily with these vitals at any difficulty, fellas, in the MyCareer. So the last thing I want to talk about before I end the video is just a few badges that you want as high as possible. I understand that not everybody can get Hall of Fame or gold badges that are tier 3 so easy this year, but some of the badges are must-have badges, fellas. They really are, and the best thing about it is you can get them for free this year. If you do have enough points, you can actually get core badges, which gives you these badges for free. So if you can get these badges as high as possible without killing your build, do it, and do it fast, fellas. The first badge I want to talk about is Quick First Step. Making it easier to get an explosive boost of speed out of a dribble move, or just in general, is always a good thing to beat defenders, fellas. It really is. This has been a must-have badge ever since it's came into the game in 2K19, maybe 2K20, whenever it was. This has always been a must-use badge, and it's no different this year. And the best thing about this badge is it's a tier 2 badge, fellas, so you don't have to give up too much to get it, which is great, and a must-have badge for any playmaker being a point guard in the MyCareer. The next badge I want to talk about is Blinders. If you have heard me talking about the invisible force field, this is what I'm talking about. Blinders will give you basically an invisible force field around your player, blocking contests from the side of you, which is so important, especially when you have so many defenders trying to defend from the side, because you're trying to zigzag cheese so much. They're never really in front of you. They're always behind you, and they're always to the side of you. So having this badge as high as possible gives you the best chance of consistently shooting greens, which is always the best thing to have, because you want to be shooting greens as much as possible. And this badge is a tier 3 badge, so I'm guessing it's going to be as strong as it was before, maybe even stronger, who knows. And as I said, it's a must-have badge for any shooter. So the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to badges is any tier 3 finishing badge is a must. Bully, Slivery Finisher, Limitless Takeoff, and Posterizer. These are the 4 badges that you want as high as possible. Even if you're not really a slasher, you want to get them at least bronze or silver, fellas, because you will use a core badge on one, so you'll be able to probably have 2 tier 3 badges if you have 15 badge points. So that's what I went with. I went with 15 badge points, so I can unlock 1 silver badge for free, and then I'll be able to unlock another one as well. So I'll be able to have Limitless Takeoff and Posterizer, or Slivery Finisher and Posterizer, or Limitless Takeoff and Slivery, and those sorts of combinations I will be having. But as I said, you need to spend 10 points to unlock tier 3, so you have to use those lower badges as well. So I'm going to be going with like things like Giant Slayer just to add up the 10 points. But trust me, fellas, if you are a slasher, you need those tier 3 finishing badges ASAP. And the last thing I want to talk about is just a few final thoughts. Is this the best build in the game, fellas? Probably not, but it's the build I wanted to make for the MyCareer. I'm able to do everything on offense just like I could last year, and that's what I want to do. That's what I have fun doing when playing MyCareer, because MyCareer is a grind, playing all those games, and the games just feel repetitive. But being able to shoot, being able to play make, I can get assists, I can score threes, I can drive to the basket, I can do everything. It gives me a bit bit of variety, and that's what will help you playing long seasons. If you are playing every game in every season like what I like to do, having a build that can do it all on offense makes it so much better and makes it so much more bearable. Trust me when I say this, fellas. And like I said, is it the best build in the game? Probably not, but it's a fun build to play in the MyCareer. It's a fun build to play online, and that's what matters at the end of the day. I don't have the meta builds, I have the fun builds, and as long as the defense holds up on this build, we should be fine. But anyway, guys, I've talked and raved long enough. If you do like these rant, raves, whatever you want to call them, don't forget to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below. Like I said at the start of the video, comment down any question that you are struggling with when it comes to the builder or NBA 2K23 in general. If I can answer it, I will. And don't forget to leave your builds in the comments below. If you want to leave your badge counts and things like that, leave it all in the comments below. But anyway, guys, I've talked and raved long enough. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later. I'm out.